Hey, true believers, welcome back to Kind of Nerdy and our coverage of Uncanny X-Men number 191. We're picking up where we left off with the where Kulan Gath had taken over Manhattan using magic. He captured Doctor Strange and he transformed the New Mutants and Morlocks into his slaves and servants. Uh, and the Avengers teamed up with the X-Men and Callisto to fight off the to help try to take down Kulan Gath. So one of the things that this is one of the types of covers I liked back in the '80s, where we have the cover we see the Vision and Colossus fighting, but if you look at the background, you can see the faces of different characters, and below the X, it's hard to see who's behind the X and stuff. But below the X, it looks like it's Magma. And then next to that is Danny Moonstar, aka Psyche. Then we have Sam Guthrie, aka Cannonball, and then Wolfsbane next to him, aka Rain Sinclair. And then it looks like between Sunspot and Rain is Warlock, and then Sunspot, obviously. And then below that, I believe that's supposed to be Rachel. And next to her, I think that's one of the to the right and lower right above Colossus's shoulder is one of the Morlocks, and then in the upper right below the N is Celine, and then we see uh, under Vision's armpit is the Scarlet Witch, and then on her left is, or on our left, on her right is Captain America, and below her is Nightcrawler, and on her right of Night on the left, on our right, if you're looking at it, it's on the right is Storm, and then Ileana Rasputin, aka Magic, and then next to Captain America's shield is Professor X, and then Spider Man, and Rogue by Colossus's knee, and then below Professor Xavier's chin that looks like the Wasp, and then Spider Man, or maybe I already said Spider, and then Doctor Strange, and I believe then there's below Colossus's knee is Callisto, and next to her, I believe that would be Sunder, who is a strong man of the Morlocks. Okay, so let's get going. Raiders of the Lost Tomb, and Spider-Man looks like he's had the crap beat out of him. Long have I awaited this moment, man spider. Before the night is out, thou wilt rue the day thou dared cross swords with the master of the dark runes, Kulan Gath. So something that they didn't reveal in the previous issue, that for some reason the Scarlet Witch and Vision are on Kulan Gath's side. Um, we have Sunder on the left below the torch. I don't know who the guy with the horns is. We have Cannonball, Daniel Moonstar, Sunspot, Wolfsbane. Uh, if I'm not, I believe the person in the cloak that you can't see their face, if that may be Mask. Mask is the new one of the Morlocks who can alter people's physical appearance but can't alter his own. He's a very twisted person. All right, so a day ago, this was the proudest city in the proudest country on the face of the globe, a modern metropolis barreling headlong and helter skelter into the 21st century. I like that it says barreling headlong, and but it's 1984, so you got to figure that this is probably what 1984, so 85, 86, 87, 80, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 97, 97, 99, 100. So we're looking at like 16 years before the 21st century. So, uh, when a spell cast by this demon sorcerer turned back upon time back upon itself, recreating on Manhattan Island an age undreamed of. Everything living or and unliving was instantly transformed. Cars became horse-drawn chariots, police, civics, guards, guns, swords. Anyone penetrating the mystic barrier surrounding the island was and is similarly, similarly, similarly affected. As apparently we've discovered two words that I cannot pronounce. And once within that wall, the wall of energy, they lose any desire to leave. To leave. To them, this is reality. To enforce his rule, Kulan Gath enslaved the Morlocks, a band of renegade mutants who live in catacombs beneath this unsuspecting city. Their features and garb changing to reflect his complete domination. In addition to the Morlocks, his victims include the New Mutants, the novice students of Charles Xavier, himself cruelly bound to Kulan Gath service. Xavier is the greatest telepath on Earth. In his right mind and world and time, he is more than a match for the sorcerer. But the master spellcaster by caught him by surprise. It was an attack against which he and his fellow heroes had no true defense. Uh, so, what led to this? If we go back two or three issues, there was a guy that had that necklace that kept trying to talk to him, and somebody mugged him and stabbed him. It was that sacrifice of blood that caused Colin Goth uh, to be brought forth into the world because he was held prisoner inside the necklace. Uh, in all the city, only those few possess the freedom. These few possess the freedom and ability to challenge Colin Goth. Some are Avengers, Earth's mightiest defenders, led by Captain America. Their companions are mutants. To them, the wizard has promised untold riches if only they would join him. A tempting offer, considering they are at best feared, at worst hated, and hunted, and sometimes slain by their fellow man simply because they exist. But these mutants are the X-Men, and Kulan Gath is their sworn enemy. Once before, Kulan Gath appeared in New York to attempt the grand enchantment, only to be hurled back into the mystic abyss that was his eternal prison by the amazing Spider-Man. Tonight, that hero pays the price for his courage and victory. Thy struggles are in vain. Thy fantastic strength and powers will avail thee not against my mystic chains. And look not for aid amongst thy comrades. Thy city lies under my enchantment, and those not yet bound to my service, as these new mutants and Morlocks are, will aid thee not, for only thou remembers the world and lives the lives that were. Wonderful. Even if I bust loose, I'm the only person in Manhattan who speaks English. No one will understand a word I say. I'll probably appear to them as some sort of demon. I didn't think it'd be possible to hurt so much, but Colin Goth's barely begun. Gee, Coley, I figured you were too big-hearted a guy to bear a grudge. Thy bravado does thee credit, man Spider. Spider-Man, get the name right, will you? Sheesh. That's what the Spider-Man in the comics is. He has two different personas. As Peter Parker, he's kind of shy and uh, with um, not sullen, but he's standoffish. And but when he's in Spider-Man, he's just a sarcastic, and he uses that sarcasm and wit to distract his opponents. Have a care, boy, that may well be thy epitaph. This is but the first step. Soon I will have power enough to spread my master's spell across the face of the world, to remake it and all humanity in my image. No fooling? Hey, tell me, Coley, what provides the power? Why, blood, of course. the hot, fresh life essence of blood innocence. Yeah, and heroes. It does my soul good to hear such screams. I trust my darling Celine. Thou wilt sing as sweetly, had I my magic's dog. But you do not. My spells have rendered you and the enchanter Stephen Strange helpless. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Have my guards used thee, unkindly wench, for shame. Thou wert my greatest foe. Thou deserve gentler treatment. There, much better. Wenches are better seen, but not heard. Boy, there's a something to trigger to nothing like uh machismo or male chauvinist from the past. For all thy knowledge of the arcane arts, thou thou hast neither mouth to cry enchantments nor hands to draw the sacred sigils. So that's why he did what he did to Doctor Strange's fingers, so that he couldn't cast spells to use the motions to cast the spell. Thou art what suits thou art what suits thee best, a creature of wanton flesh, who exists solely to bring me pleasure. I can see in thine eyes how happy that doth make thee. Sunder, Moonstar, wouldst also make thy master glad? We live to serve thee, dread one. Precisely. Where are the other rebels? We do not know, Lord. They escaped us. A pity. And he turns them into stone. I have a low tolerance for failure, my pets. Better by far that thou to perish in battle than return in defeat to dis, disgrace to face my wrath. I shall not be so gentle or forgiving a second time. Xavier, come forth. Where are my enemies? I, Caliban, hear you, mighty one. Hear, mighty one. But your foes remain hidden from sight, the sight of my mind's eye. There is but one place, Lord, where your servant's scrying power cannot see the Morlock catacombs. They must be that must be where the rebels have fled. Splendid Sunder. I want them in chains before me by dawn, or dear children, their fate shall most assuredly be thine. Uptown in what was once upon a time had been the New York Public Library, a gutted ruin. There is nothing left. Wasp, search the temple for any survivors. The rest of you stay alert. Whoever did this may still be around. I hope your little lady be okay, Star Fox. You'll find, Rogue, that despite her diminutive size, Janet can take good care of herself. Eros, Star Fox, Wasp, by the sacred rings, what ails you, lass? Horrible! The their bodies, priestesses butchered their bodies. Oh, it was awful. My hope was they might provide weapons knowledge uh, to use against Kulan Gath. The fear I fear, Captain, that the sorcerer had a similar notion. Don't despair, Aurora. So the New York City Public Library had been turned into a temple, and the librarians were turned into priestesses. Uh, that's kind of funny, because back in the '80s, most librarians were middle-aged spinsters. um, look out, Nightcrawler, sniper on the wall. On my way, my friend. Bump, and he teleports. A pretty prize, this one. The prize, this one. Anyone know her? I am Arielin, you teleporting devil, chief archivist of the temple. Do with me as you will, dogs. Mitra, shrivel your souls. We mean you no harm, lady. Your handiwork says otherwise. This massacre was not our doing. Liar! How can you say that when amongst you stands Callisto, commander of the wizard's own guard. Before Ororo can reply, in the name of Kulan Gath, yield, traitors, or die. We have the Scarlet Witch. That Scarlet Witch has imprisoned my brother in the crimson bands of Sidorak. But not for long. Ileana Rasputin is a demon sorceress in her own right, and her soul sword is the ultimate expression of that power. Neither enchantments nor magical beings can withstand it. There are warriors all over the place, too many to fight. Fall back to the catacombs. Unfortunately, foolish Callisto, did did you think our master so careless as to leave you a means to escape? This creature, the vision, an animate is animate earth and stone, as impervious to harm as my own living steel. Of us all, only the strength of Colossus is his equal. It falls to me to protect then to protect my comrades. Yowza, yowza, yowza. Come one, come all. Take your best shot, sucker. There's nothing to me. That's not something I'd expect to hear from Rogue. And I wonder what it is about her. I guess because she's supposedly alien, or alien from Carol Danvers, because that's whose power she has. That she, they have her as having green skin. Our blades shatter against Rogue's crystal hide, or maybe she's made out of crystal. I guess. A cannonball. You're needed, lad. Whammo! My pleasure, Greybeard. I have the wench by the unholy. My body is turning to crystal. No, absorbed his humanity, my gem forms become flesh and blood. Now, isn't that a crying shame? Rogue! And he stabs her in the back. The guy, it kind of reminds me of a goblin from Dungeons and Dragons. Rogue! Oh, and she just, Storm just uses this, kills the guy with the sword. Oro's gone berserk. That girl's death has driven her mad. Bless her, she's giving us an opportunity we need. Rachel, use your mind blast to punch a hole through the outside wall. As soon as she's done, Ileana cast a cloaking spell to hide us. Captain America, what of Ororo? Scram. Go, my friends, while we have a chance. I shall hold these curs at bay as long as I am able. Self never dreamed Ororo possessed such ferocity. She ever seemed the gentlest of creatures. Her form effort is magnificent. Wish Wish self possessed such courage, but the odds are too great. She is doomed unless self rescues her. Gasp! Rain. She grabs self. Is trying to do self injury. What manner of horror are you? Oro's self is friend Warlock. No comprehension of Oro's speech. How will self communicate with self explain? How will self explain that cry? Exhaust blast. Self became too hot for rain to hold. I make her forgive self. Self has terminated self's best friend. Later, coast is clear. I trust Archivist. You believe us now? Save your rage, Callisto, for the one who truly deserves it. Who's here? Rogue is dead, my friend, and probably Aurora with her. Star Fox and his lady I saw captured. Some help you were, Amara. You have power over the earth itself. You can create quakes and volcanoes. Why didn't you use it? I'm sorry, Eliana. I wanted to help, but I couldn't. I was so scared. See what you've done, sister, for shame. Do not weep, little princess. We will keep you safe. Eliana speaks like she knows the girl and expected better of her. Amara's soul bound to the sorceress, seeing as is as young as Rachel. To the bound to the sorceress Celine as is young Rachel. Oh, could that have something to do with it? Callisto, where's the nearest entrance to the catacombs? Callisto? Next street over. Oh, ah, sorry, my cat grabbed my hand while I was trying to scroll down. Next street over. Sorry, I was wondering what was happening to Ororo and the others. Moonstar, Sam, Cannonball slain, my darling Rain dying. By the accursed rebels, you'll pay for your lot with your lives. So we have Cannonball's dead and Wolfsbane is dying. From each of their prisoners, Daniel Moonstar's manifests real as life psychic images. One of the things they fear most. For Eros, it is becomes like his mad brother Thanos would be destroyer of the universe. And for Janet Van Dyne is becoming the Wasp in fact as well as in name. I like how Thanos has hair in that picture. ah, I don't know what Thanos looks like without a helmet on. So, uh, peace, Moonstar, Master. I claim their lives, and I say thee, nay. I have other plans for our prisoners. When I am done, then you may have them. Mourn not for thy werewolf. My power already restores her, even as it reshapes these rebels more to my liking. The man possesses such beauty that no living being can resist him or do him harm, while the wasp now drinks lives and drinks lives and souls to make me strong. Make me strong. Thou hast done well, my pets, but I will not be content till the Selene's rebels are before me in chains or in their graves. Meanwhile, speech is useless, and Oro seems not to recognize the image's self manifests of true self as leader of the X-Men. What next? How can self make her understand? This demon has not harmed me. Indeed, his gentle manner belies his fearsome, mean mind. But what then does he desire? Blessed goddess, mother, I see him and the strange faces and forms of me and now one other. She is a spirit. The demon seems unaware of her speaking to my soul. I know her. This is madness. I spoke and think in the demon's gibberish. There are pictures in my brain. This demon, Warlock, is in them. What we are comrades. Has he ensorcelled me? How can such things be memories? Yet I sense they are. The city is I see as another covering it like a ghost, even as I look at the dream shapes fade, as do the strange words and memories. I myself again accept. I know now that self is a lie elsewhere. So you heard of him, Lady Arelin, and archivist passions Captain an archivist passion Captain America is to learn and everything and about everything and everyone. Kulan Gath was an apprentice to the Lord of the Black Ring, the archmage Thoth Amon, but he was forced to flee Stygia after being caught practicing magics that even the sons of Set considered abominable. Found a third word, abominable. He wandered the world, becoming a wizard of awesome, incalculable power. It is said that there are few, if any, that are his equal. By rights, he should have carved himself an empire. He often tried, but success has always eluded him. For such a brilliant man, he could he could on occasion prove himself incredibly stupid. A god with feet of clay, but still a god, comrades. Who could rescue us to ashes with a gesture? Reduce us to ashes with a gesture. Sorry, my coffee is apparently wearing off. uh, he has limits, Nightcrawler. Our combined freedom, continued freedom, is proof of that, and we're not without magical resources ourselves. Ileana evens the odds somewhat, and once we are free, Celine, assuming she's still alive, how do you propose we get into the palace to rescue her? The old-fashioned way, elf. Through the front door. Yawn. Halt, who goes there? Prisoners for our dread lord. Wait, what? Wait here while we summon the captain of the guard. It's softly late. Why wake him? She, Rachel's using her telepathy. It's awful late. Why wake him? She's doing a Jedi mind trick. uh, so this is the time of the Star Wars movies. 1984, Return of the Jedi would have been out already. So she's basically doing a Jedi mind trick on the Morlock. Do it in the morning. We'll do it in the morning. Let us pass. You can pass. That was easy. My mind spell will ensure they remember nothing, Cap. I also hear echoes of Celine's thoughts. Great work, Rachel. Lead the way. They're whispering. When you see the dotted speech bubbles, that indicates whispering. I don't know if it does anymore. I haven't read newer comics in a while. However, as our heroes disappear into the shadowed, silent citadel, dear foolish boys, our Lord and Master expects better of those who serve him. You were taken by surprise and deceived far too easily. It is his hope your comrades will profit from this example. And basically, the wasp turns them into dust by feeding on their life essences. Considering the time that this is made, this is pretty gruesome. It's still met with the comic code, but still, it's kind of gruesome. These people reduced to dust. At roughly the same moment, this passage should take us directly beneath Kulan Gath's palace. You know our tunnels almost as well as I, Arlene. That's praise indeed, Callisto. I've already tried to discover everything I could about the city and its people. Just naturally nosy, I guess. This woman has courage. In spite of myself, I like her. But the Morlock's salvation has been the fact that our layers are secret. Anyone, especially a human, who uncovers them threatens our very survival and must be destroyed. Surprise, Cal! Kulan Gath anticipated your visit. He asked us to provide a proper reception. Sunder, it's an ambush! With but a blow, Rebel, I can smash you to a pulp. Only if you connect, Sunspot. Bump! On the other hand, young prince, since your power derives solely from sunlight, the strain imposed by my multiple teleports should speedily drain it and revert you to human. So Sunspot's power comes from the sun, but he has to be in direct sunlight to absorb it. So he can store it, but the thing is, he can also use it up if he's not in the sun. And Nightcrawler, one of the side effects of his teleporting, it's not like in Star Trek where you can teleport and you're fine. The when he does multiple teleports carrying somebody, it puts a strain on them, and it can cause them to pass out. And it can do the same thing to him, but he's built up a the ability to overcome that with his endurance because it's his power. Um, my soul sword can free my friends from the slaver's spell, but Rain grabbed me. I can't reach her with my blade. Eldritch armor protects my left arm, but my right arm breaking. Sunder, tear this traitor limb from limb. While I confront her with the spirit forms of what she fears the most, the woman she once was, the life that might have been. No, curse you, brat. No. So Callisto is not a very attractive person physically, as you can see. But there were rumors, and it turns out it's true that she at one time she was a model, had like the ability, it was pretty enough to be a model, but something happened to her, and that caused her that she chose this form instead and became this basically a psychopath. Well, not a psychopath, but an outsider, an outcast. Um, I may have no fantastic powers or magics like the others, but that doesn't mean I'm helpless. Brave words and a mad act belied by the terror of Arielyn's heart. But if she's nothing, If she does nothing, she knows she'll curl up in a corner and wait to be slaughtered. That she will that she will not do, whatever the cost. Roar! That rain is enough. That rain is enough out of you. I'm in the debt. Your debt, lady Ariel. Your turn, Chief. Aye. As Danny is released from Kulan Gath's control, so too is Callisto from Danny's. And her response is as instinctive as it is deadly. By the time Callisto realizes what she's done, and that Ileana could have liberated Sunder as she did her fellow New Mutants, it's too late. Sunder, sleep well, my dear friend. You'll be avenged. So, Ileana Rasputin is the sorcerer supreme of the dimension of Limbo, and sorry, it's kind of a racy close up there of Callisto. Anyways, she and yet the thing is, her powers aren't as great on Earth as they are in Limbo. She can manifest her soul sword and use it to counteract other magic, but she can't call upon her full magical might while she's on Earth. The throne room. I believe where the throne room. I think that the palace is actually supposed to be New York City Hall. The Spider-Man's crucified magically. Gasp! That poor man, Cap. I feel his agony in my mind. It's beyond belief. Help him as best as you can, Rachel, while we find Celine. This is going far too easily. I don't like it. Cap, other thoughts. This is a trap. Good girl, using your own magics to blunt that red witch's attack. That the odds are equal, friends. We can't let them stop us. And so the battle is joined, with quarter neither asked nor given. You'll not escape this time, mutant. Your essence, Colossus, so delicious. My let Waspy claim it for Kulan Gath. Her talons cutting through my still skin, draining strength my very life. Ow! Unhand him, devil! Captain America throws his shield at her. Thank you, Captain. Ordinarily, Cap's shield would return to his grasp, but in mid-flight, a most amusing toy, Captain. Could it hurl? Could I hurl it as far as these say through thy heart? Across the room, Cap watches in horror as the girl succumb to Eros, while by his side Vision reduces his physical density to the point where he can pass his arms through the Colossus, and then the golem solidifies. The terrible strain is tragically more than either can bear, and they explode. Ugh, dang! Now look at Captain America caught in a blast. Steel and stone shrapnel spray the room, and Cap's mail shirt provides little protection as he drops stunned and bloody, surprised to find himself still alive. Colossus, Vision, Cap, even though Kulangoth made them different people, they're still my friends. I can't just stand by and watch them all be massacred. For a moment, Spidey feels a surge of hope as Callisto's band burst into the throne room. But then the wizard, his power having transformed the mutant Scarlet Witch into a true sorceress, uses her spells to turn them into living statues. No more! No more! The pain he feels is beyond belief. Yet not yet not for in an instant does Spider-Man waver. Too many commercials. Flesh tears, but the cross breaks. The amulet. His power resides in the amulet around his neck. Get it off of him, and he's beaten. A supreme effort, boy, supreme wasted. Hast thou forgotten? None but thee can comprehend thy barbaric tongue. I am amused by No longer man spider. The time has come to die. High above, hidden in the rafters, beneath the ventilation ad- apertures through which they slipped undetected into the palace, self understands evil one. If self has only deciphered enough of Ororo's language to explain self, enable self to explain, Kulan Gath's necklace is important to him, and we are to take it from him. Why not, my friend? We have we have not to lose but trying save our lives and our immortal souls. But I no longer possess my riding powers. I cannot fly. How can I reach him? Oh, and Warlock wraps himself around her and turns into wings, transforming himself into a set of jet-powered wings. The young alien scoops up Ororo up and dives for their unsuspecting foe. And even Colin Goth is caught off guard. While Warlock immobilizes the wizard, Ororo grabs the amulet, but then, with victory literally in their grasp, something's snatching the necklace away. Many thanks, Ororo, for fulfilling my faithful faith in you and my destiny. Simultaneously, on the dais, Selene becomes a woman of living flame, and at her mental commands, a volcano erupts beneath Warlock and Kolangoth, consuming them both. Ha 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 ha! Kolangoth, you utter, complete, pathetic fool! To think you were think one who knew you so well would allow herself to be taken captive with such childish ease. The girl Amara, she was the sorceress all along. I knew I wanted to tell, but Celine's spells kept me silent. I'm trying to resist the rebel, but I can't. Why risk myself after all, when there is no more noble? There are so many noble heroes to fight and die for me. Now none are left to oppose me as I cast the master spell over the entire world. A world Selene shall rule forever. Progressive system collapse. Life glow quickly fading. Beyond hope of restoration. But another way. Ororo, self can make you a being like self. Your life glows strong, vital. You can act self. Doomed. World may yet be saved, but warn though, process irreversible. Once transformed, never again can you become human. There are worse fates. And so he touches her and he infects her with the techno organic virus. She is a child of nature, but Warlock's touch turns flesh to living circuitry, blood to raw energy, and a human being to techno organic. World shift, self change progression, self mutation, self fluxing, fluxing, unstable soul, core scream. Thoughts are out of control. Perceptions mad, wild, strange. It is self, is I am alien. She weeps for her slain friend, for the Ororo that was and never will be again. Her her tears, not true tears, but all all but flickers of light, and lashes out at Celine, replicating the process with one crucial exception as she absorbs the energy and life glow from her foe. So she infects uh, Celine with the techno organic virus and then absorbs the energy, and that's how the techno organics feed, rendering Celine totally inert. The slaver's spell perished with Kulan Gath, with Selene in virtually the same state. Her enchantments are likewise broken, enabling Eliana to free and restore Doctor Strange. Merciful Vishanti. Ororo, greetings, mage. My assumptions of Warlock's form has restored memories of my true identity and the world. Though a captive Oro, I was aware of what transpired. My prayer was that the wizard's death would free the city, but that has not happened. No, things have gone too far. The spell has acquired a life of its own, and if not stopped now, it never will be. Even if I, the master of mystic arts, lack the power to counter it directly. However, there may be an alternative, although in its own way the consequences could be devastating. I sense that Ms. Rasputin an extraordinary ability to manipulate the forces of time itself. If I can work my magics in concert with her own and this other mutant talent, it is done. So, in the actual Marvel universe, the Doctor Strange does not have the Time Stone. Uh, but what he uses is Ileana's ability, because when Ileana teleports to Limbo, Limbo is in a different time phase of time, and so minutes there, years there can only be moments or seconds in time. But she can also travel back and forth through time, which she's done, but she hasn't learned to control it. But Doctor Strange is using that power. Welcome all to my sanctum sanctorum. But you will what you just experienced was a temporal spatial claudation. In essence, we use the power of the villain's massive spell to turn itself back upon itself, to return us all to the moment before it was originally cast, and by doing so prevent it. The exact the fact that we stand here untransformed means that we succeeded. What stopped the spell, Doctor? Do you know? No, Captain America. I fear not. Twisting the time stream as we have done involves dealing with the primal forces and fabric of the universe. Who can say what repercussions might result? What of those slain, Mage? A, none were, Ororo, for this night has not yet to even occur. A pity. In Celine's case, an exception could not. A pity. In Celine's case, an exception could not be made. Stephen, about Ileana. There is little I could teach her of the arcane, Charles, and such knowledge is not what she truly needs, which is the enlightenment and growth of her spirit. That can better that can better come not from a stranger, but those who love her. Will anyone remember, Doctor? How can they, Miss Williams, since nothing happened? Only we in this room who were in the nexus of the time slip have any awareness of what might have been. As usual, the X-Men help save humanity and nobody knows it. And for all our heroes, we mutants are still outcasts. Nothing has changed. Not quite, Storm. I know, and for what it's worth, I thank you. One of the things that they did and really used to irk me back in the 80s, they would introduce this character like this Miss Williams or Ariel Lynn, whatever her name is, uh, but they would you never see her again. You know, and even though she basically helped save the world. You know, you're just a librarian. I wonder, Oro muses softly, what the consequences will be of our actions tonight. Have we in fact saved the world, or merely delivered it and us to a far more terrible fate? Mutants intend to supplant us lower creatures as the dominant species on this planet. So we go back to where Jaime is listening to the radio or watching his Watchmen actually, and his coworker's about to stab him. Query location: Earth, North America, Manhattan. Temporal data anomalies. This is not where I am supposed was, nor where I am supposed to be. Immediate situation: crime in progress. Human life threatened. Appropriate action initiated. We believe the mutant menace is real. Squawk! The shock blast sends Jaime Rodriguez sprawling, a certain necklace flying from his jacket to vanish from sight into the muck and ooze. And if a demonic voice shrieks in futile protest, no one hears, no one answers. Observation: victim alive. Easy, fella, you'll be okay. What's that? What's up? Somebody hit me. Don't worry, he won't do it again. Observation: anti-mutant sentiment prevalent in this society. Conclusion: if mutants exist, then true to my prime programming, Nimrod must seek them out and obliterate them. Next, fun and games. So this is the first appearance of Nimrod, the ultimate sentinel from the future, and they they hadn't fully did his design yet. He looks different in other future comics, but uh, he becomes a part of the X-Men's time. If you see, he's looking at this poster that says "Muti Die." That's for Dazzler the movie, which was a graphic novel. Dazzler was revealed herself. She outed herself as a mutant in this movie, hoping that it would help bring awareness to mutant plight, and instead it turned a lot of the world even bigger into against mutants because she was a celebrity and she had to basically go underground because of her revealing herself to be a mutant. So I hope you all enjoyed this two-parter about Kulan Gath taking over Manhattan, and it's really I like how they killed a bunch of people and then they brought them back by on doing the trope of the time going back in time and rewinding it. uh, so um, I may do 192 next because issue 192 is the is uh, is Magus, Warlock's father, and the X Men having to fight him. So I may do that, and I will see you all in the next video. Well, you'll see me hopefully, or you'll see my video. You won't see me. Uh, but I hope you all enjoy this. I'd like you to comment, subscribe, share this video, and have a good one. Thank you. Have a good night.